email is Dr. Shiva Ayadurai. He's joining us now. He's also a candidate for President of the United States. Good morning, Dr. Shiva. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Looks like we don't have your audio, Dr. Shiva, so we'll bring you over in here in just a moment while we get that fixed up.
Oh, hold on. I just have to
just tweak your microphone settings a little bit, and hopefully we'll get you set up there. You might have to go into your Zoom settings.
There you go. How's that?
There you go. All right. Let's bring him back in there. Dr. Shiva, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Sir.
Sorry about that. How's everyone doing?
Not a problem at all.
Good.
Dr. Shiva, you have a long and storied resume. You are a published author. Your book, which I'm definitely going to order on Amazon today, is All American Indian. This fight is your fight. The battle to save America from the elites who think they know better. And boy, was there ever a good case study for that. You wrote that book in 2017, and then COVID came out in 2020. Quite prescient, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, what's really important to understand is, look, what we need to learn from 2020, I think the main message is, and if you look at the history of the United States over the last 70 years, there's a curve that I have that shows the United States life expectancy actually going down like this. It's actually an umbrella, which means since 1970 to 80, the US life expectancy is completely deviated from the rest of the world. If you have a child today, this is no hyperbole, will have a shorter lifespan than you. And behind that curve is a much bigger story. It's not the policies of the Democrats or Republicans, it's the policies of the elites through their front men called Democrats and Republicans. And those policies have included, massive stress on the American family. The average American family now has only $400 in their bank account for a rainy day. And the explosive growth of the concentration of wealth among a few. During COVID, as you know, 600 billionaires made $2.3 trillion. But the most important thing I think people need to understand is when you look at a guy like me, I've always been a ground activist. Since 1984, when I saw a guy like Jesse Jackson talk a big game like Trump or Vivek or Bernie Sanders or AOC, all these guys are absolute, just pure D-list actors. They're recruited by the swarm to make you hear what you want to hear. And they've gotten very, very sophisticated since 80s. And then at the last minute, they bring their votes to one wing of their establishment. That's their job. And if you look right now, what's going on, I don't know if I can curse or not, but, you have someone like Trump. In 2020, Marla Maples took my letter to him. I've had many conversations with him. I said, do not do the lockdown. Fire Fauci. You're looking at somebody who's an MIT PhD. He's one of the world-renowned guys on the immune system. He didn't do that. He kept Fauci. I mean, here's a guy who claims he has big brass balls and he's going to come drain the swamp. Fauci, if anything, is the biggest swamp creature. He's been there since 1980. And Trump didn't do anything to him. In fact, what Trump did do was promote lockdowns. He was a front man for Big Pharma. Trump did for Big Pharma what Obama did for big banks. 57% of Trumpers voted for Obama. It's very important to understand. You see, every so often they say, wow, we're losing the American public. They're losing faith in the establishment front men. So they bring in a creature like Obama with hope. And, for 8 years, and if you look at what he did was confuse everyone. But on 2008, he saved all those big banks. So they needed a white guy this time, and that was Trump. I'm the one who exposed all the real election systems issue in 2020. I mean, I probably got 2 hours sleep, man, in 2020 and 2021. All of that work was done for nothing, while Trump made $250 million, $250 million off my work. And him and Mike Lindell and all these creatures did not address the fundamental issues, which is signature verification and chain of custody. They talked about all this wacky shit to just excite the base, made a ton of money, and God knows where that money went. But if you look in 2020, it was I who ran the campaign to fire Fauci. It's all out there on the Twitter feed. We went to Trump. We gave him 120,000 signatures in 2020 to fire him, not like these opportunist doctors 3 years later trying to save their profession. It was I who discovered in my historic lawsuit that government has a backdoor portal to Twitter. And people like Tucker Carlson and Glenn Greenwald, the so-called fighters, did nothing. These people concealed the truth. It was independent podcasters like you and others who brought it out. So the lesson here is, go look at Tucker Carlson's history. CIA, man, he's intelligence. These guys have learned psychological operations techniques. So you and I and others do not build a bottoms-up movement, because that is what has only changed the world. In fact, in the United States, not top down. I did a video called The Swarm, and everyone should see it. It'll educate you and your children on who are these people. They're not the swamp. They're not in one location. They're multiracial, distributed, tightly knit, telepathically communicating organization. And this prick, Vivek the snake, was created. Look, they literally have a manufacturing facility. They have, and from a control system standpoint, they say, shoot, we're going to lose the public. Let's create these characters who mimic the real warriors. So they see this brown face who's got 500 million people now who know about our movement, what we've done, winning people. So they literally go find the swarm creature. And here's a guy, you just need to look at his history. I mean, he's not an entrepreneur. He's not for excellence or meritocracy. What he is a bullshitter. And look at his bullshit. He created a company called Axavant that took $5 million, bought a knowingly failed drug that failed 4 times from Big Pharma, reframed it with his mother doing a bogus study, framing the drug as though it was a successful drug when it failed 4 times. And that guy, I mean, no one gets on mainstream media without a massive engine behind them. New York Times covers him every day. He gets coverage. So overnight, like Obama, they're able to create people. So people need to wake the fuck up in 2024. We need to start electing one of us.
Let's pause right there for just a moment so I can reset for those who might just be tuning in. We are grateful to the big audience today, 217 people watching us live. It is the highest rated show we've ever had. I think people are very excited to hear from our current guest right now, but let me reintroduce him for you. I'm speaking to Dr. Shiva. He is an independent candidate for President of the United States. He's also the inventor of email. He also studied at MIT, so he's one of the best and brightest out there. He also fought against COVID tyranny alongside many of us who were part of the grassroots movement to restore our rights. I would like to ask you, Dr. Shiva, if you don't mind, your thoughts on the return for mask mandates here and the fears that we're hearing in the mainstream media about a new variant that's spreading.
Well, look, I think what we need to realize is the establishment will always try to manipulate us with fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's the IBM selling model, right? And then you do that. You have people who put forward this fear, but they offer no solutions. If you look in 2020, I ran a conference called Mask Health and what it's actually doing. And we educated people. I had done a scientific paper on what happens when you put a mask on your mouth, how it affects the pH in the microbiome. And so we educated millions of people all over the world on what masks do. But then we took that scientific paper and we wrote a legal document and we educated many, many parents on the ground to go challenge their school boards and tell them, look, I have this documented paper here, which shows that masks will cause harm to my child. Now, if you pass this mask mandate, given I've given you this paper, I can go sue you and pierce the veil of what's called qualified immunity. Qualified immunity is what government officials use, so you can't ever sue them in their individual capacity and take away their homes, but you have to sue the government. And that was very, very successful. And we're going to launch, probably going to do another workshop on it again. But the bottom line is, it's any idiot can expose stuff. The issue is, when did you talk about it? And what did you do to help people at that time? Are you the fireman coming after the building burned down and writing a big thesis and doing a video on a movie? That's what many of these people did. So it's time that people recognize we should look at real leaders who care about us. Look, I came from the working class. I came from the lower cost, a caste of non-Brahmins. Vivek the snake is a freaking Brahmin of Brahmins, and people should understand that. The Brahmins are the elites. They're the ones who think the rest of us are beneath them. And that Brahmanical caste model has now permeated the entire world. We live in a caste system, and it doesn't matter whether you're white, black, brown, whatever color you are. There are a finite set of people who actually think they're better than you. And the most important thing to understand is they actually believe you are fucking dumb. They actually believe that they can bullshit you and you'll forget, you'll have amnesia. And you're seeing that right now. I mean, I did a.
Can you blame him, Doctor? Can you blame him, Dr. Shiva, with the way some of these people vote sometimes?
well, the reality is what's happened is 60% of people who are eligible to vote have checked out because they don't see an alternative. That's called the dark matter. Out of the 40% that vote, half of them are deciding who's in power. So they've split the 40% of people who think they're doing activism by showing up for 2 hours and filling in a ballot. That's not activism. Activism is something that occurs every day. And what we're educating people on is that there's a science to shattering the swarm. There's a systems dynamics. And you're talking to some guy who's taught systems at MIT, And so what I've done, instead of just teaching it to the elites, we've put that into a framework I call Truth, Freedom, Health. It's a university. People come and we teach them the same thing that Kissinger learned. And in 3 hours, they learn this. And we have a community. And then we get people on the ground. The future is offline. You know, I was out a couple of mornings ago distributing thousands of flyers on the ground. You get to meet people. You get to hand them a one-page flyer that shows them that graph. They're killing your children. Lesser of two evils are killing your children. Here's the swarm. And this is what you must do. And the goal is we need to be heroes. We should stop asking stupid questions. Oh, what did you think about the debate? What did you think about Trump? What do you think about Biden? The issue is, what do I think about you? What do I think about our neighbors? Because history shows in the 1900s, it's when the American working class rose up, men and women, they scared the shit out of the establishment. And that is why, if any gains that we got, elimination of child labor, infrastructure, right? All those gains that we got in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s were from those mass movements, 150 million people, working people striking. Not like doing crazy stuff, but actually exercising their First Amendment rights. And that's why
we're all about here. Pause for just a moment,
Yep.
if you don't mind, Dr. Shiva. The numbers just keep climbing. They must be loving what they're hearing this morning, but make sure that we get that corresponding amount of likes. I know sometimes you got to sign in order to get to like and comment in Rumble, but we would love to ask our listeners, if you're joining us right now and it's your very first time, which I think with all of these massive numbers of people watching us right now, it's probably a lot of your first time. So if you like that content, make sure that you click like, and of course, subscribe to the channel here to help to spread the message of economic freedom and personal liberty. The Wake Up America show is every Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. And we always strive to bring you the absolute best guests in freedom today. I'm speaking now to Dr. Shiva Ayurveda.
Ayurveda.
Thank you.
But
Dr.
you just call me Dr. Shiva. One of the things I want to recommend is the goal. You look, I ran as a Republican in Massachusetts. Everyone knows the Republicans and Democrats colluded to steal that election. That started me in my journey as an MIT engineer and a scientist to uncover everything that's out there in the media. All of that came from here, from my hard work and our movement's work. But we have to recognize that what you are witnessing in front of you is theater. Donald Trump is a fucking D-list actor. Now he's got his little Vivek the Snake actor. All these people are actors. I'm telling you, they're all owned and paid for. If anyone is on mainstream media, they don't get there overnight. There's many, many gates that have to be open for them. And the only way forward is a bottoms-up movement. So what I want to, I'm sure we're going to talk more, but one of the things.
Tell us about your campaign, Dr.
Look,
Shiva.
First of all, I want to hold this up. This is a bumper sticker. Why am I holding this up? First of all, 100,000 people see one of those bumper stickers when you put it on the back windshield. So I want everyone to go to Shiva for President. You pay a few bucks and you get it, but put it on your car. Don't put it on your dining room table. The other thing we need to recognize is that, you can go, we need to get on the ballot in every state. So people need to volunteer. You see, what they do is they take tons of your money, then they pay consultants. You have to collect signatures, for example, to get on the ballot. I never saw any of them collecting signatures, ever. I really think they have a backroom sweatshop. They have people who are, have the DMV records and they're writing signatures. These people are cheaters. They don't even play by the rules that they impose on us. So go to Shiva for President, volunteer. But one of the things we're doing for our campaign is every Thursdays at 11 a.m. and 8 p.m. we do a town hall. You can go to shivaforpresident.com/town hall. Now, what do we do at that town hall? Well, we have 6 major topics and we rotate them. So, for example, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about healthcare. But when I talk about healthcare, you're looking at a health professional, you're looking at someone who understands the system of healthcare. We teach people what is the immune system. Then we teach people how you actually take care of your body. You see, your immune system and aging at the molecular level, they're very closely connected. You have a strong immune system, you're going to live very long. The number one way to protect your immune system is to have strong communities, have proper nutrition. So we teach that.
Dr. Shiva, if you could distill your message as an independent candidate for president, how would you do that for our audience?
I would say truth, freedom, health, and we have to shatter the swarm, period. Truth, freedom, health. You can't just be fighting for the First and Second Amendment, right? That's fine. We have to fight for truth, which is absolute real science, real innovation. That's the truth piece. And health, we have to demand that we take care of our health. You could be a wonderful patriot with your First and Second Amendment, fighting for that. But if you're overweight and you're obese and you're not taking care of your children, you need the health, okay? Because without health, you don't have the fire in you to go fight for truth and freedom. So truth, freedom, health. Notice I don't use the word and. They're all together. Truth, freedom, health. And the only way we're going to get there to truth, freedom, health is by shattering the swarm. What does that mean? That means there's a distributed group of around 10, 20,000 people who they're not in any one place, who actually support each other, and they're very easy to shatter. And the only reason they sustain themselves is because they keep people distracted with these agents, their frontmen. And they have a whole motley of these people that they keep putting forward. As I mentioned, they have a factory that produces them. A Tulsi Gabbard, she'll mount stuff against the establishment, but she gets to get coverage on Fox. Then they'll have Vivek the Snake. And they have a whole bunch of these people lined up. And part of lining these people up is to make you forget their absolute contradictions and make you think, well, I guess I have to, it's okay that Booby fucking Kennedy banged 38 women, all right? And then he acts all solemn when his wife hangs herself after seeing his diary, but he gets beautiful PR pictures over the casket, and you should feel sorry for him. And the next day, by the way, he exhumed her casket and moved it to another unmarked grave, right? So we have these people who are absolute bullshitters. They're not one of us. They grow up in a world.
Dr. Shiva, we're running out of time. I want to give you a chance, though, very briefly, to tell people where they can learn more about your campaign and where they can follow you online before we go.
Yeah. So the first thing is people can go to truthfreedomhealth.com, become a warrior scholar. I want you to become your own leaders. Number one, our campaign gives you the opportunity to get on the ground. Shiva #4 president.com. Go there, volunteer. If you want to donate, by the way, when people donate to me, I send them books. I educate them. I cannot take your money without reciprocity. But those are the two places. But the bottom line is the simplest message of our campaign is get off your butt. We need people on the ground learning how to fight the swarm. And do not look to the swarm. Do not look to any of them. They've become massively good at manipulating you. Their words do not match their deeds. Trump is now putting out this video. We will not comply. Well, here's the father of the vaccine. He did not fire Fauci. He did not lock her up. He did not drain the swamp. He did lockdowns. So you got to say, okay, he's saying this, but he's saying that to manipulate you because they have all this data saying, oh, say this now, and you'll manipulate people.
There you go, Dr. Shiva. It's Shiva for president, the number 4, just like me, AP for Liberty. Dr. Shiva, thank you for coming on the show today. A lot of energy. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you. Be well, be the light. Best to you and your families and your audience. Thank you.
Good luck to you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Okay, Devin, that was AP for Liberty. I wanted to do this morning live. Look, everyone, you guys know I work my butt off from 5 a.m. to 12 midnight, like all of us do, working people. And the goal here is we must shatter the swarm. So all of you listening, go to Shiva for President. You better get one of these freaking bumper stickers and put it on the back windshield. It's a simple way you can all help out. The other thing is go to our website. There's a wonderful article there. There's a wonderful flyer there you can download. It's about we must, that they are killing our children. And it has the graph in it. Print that out. Go to the download section. Go to Shiva for President, #4. Go to the download section and you'll find that flyer. Download it, print it on black and white, keep it simple, hand it out to as many people as you want. Donate. Some of you may just have a lot of money and you say, wow, I like this guy. Well, donate as much as you can. And when you donate, by the way, I give you lots of books and content and courses, et cetera, so you can become a much better fighter and a leader, and you can give it to other people. But we need to get on the ballot in every state. And we need your help. So go and volunteer. You will meet incredible people. It's time to shatter the swarm. It's time to recognize that we don't need to be bullshitted. It's time that we have reduced our standards. We've reduced our standards to think, oh, well, he says that and he does this. That's just the way things have to be. No, our leaders are supposed to elevate our consciousness. Our leaders are supposed to have higher standards, right? So we strive for that. They're supposed to be our heroes, not the people who are shitheads. And then we're okay with making statements like my personal integrity is one thing, my public integrity is another. I can be a scumbag in my personal life, but excuse me, because just look at how good I dress and how I bullshit you. Okay. And if you're a Christian, these are completely anti-Christian. That's how the Satan behaves. And if you're in any religion, none of these religions talk about these kinds of having duplicitous behavior. So it's time that if you're a Christian or you're a Hindu or you're a Muslim or you're a whatever religion you are, go to the fundamental principles of that religion and choose your leaders wisely. And if you're on the other side, you're an atheist and you're a Marxist, well, great. If you want to be that, wonderful. That's your right. But recognize that people like Bernie Sanders, people on the quote unquote left have no regard for workers. They have denigrated the worker to be the guy who doesn't work. Okay. If they really go read Marx, they'll realize that Marx was talking about people who worked, gave their labor, and created surplus value. So if you want to be a Marxist and an atheist, well, then be a real freaking supporter of workers. And real workers would recognize people like Bernie Sanders, people like AOC. These people have never worked a day in their life. And it's time we support working people. It's time we recognize that we have to build a movement. The good news for all of you is I've done the hard work. Our movement, truthfreedomhealth.com, has done the hard work. Go there. Learn the physics of how to shatter the swarm. Join this movement, but freaking get at least a bumper sticker. It's really easy. Get a bumper sticker, donate as much money as you want. I will give you stuff. That this is a partnership for us to really not only the United States, but to shatter the swarm globally. We have a historic opportunity. People are waking up, and the elites know people are waking up. So they are ramping up their efforts with their bogus, absolutely bogus frontmen who are literally stealing our words and mouthing it and thinking they can sell it to you. But take a few moments, go look at my Twitter, Facebook stream. We've put together all the content there to expose all of these snakes. And it's time that you do that. If you don't want to do it for yourself, do it for your children, because your child right now will have a shorter lifespan than them. So as I sign off, I do want to play a video, which, I'm all about action, guys. I love attacking these folks, but it's about action. Number one action is become a Truth, Freedom, and Health warrior. Go to truthfreedomhealth.com. Number one and 1A action is get a bumper sticker, all right? And support this campaign and volunteer. So let me play our campaign.
Who would have
video.
ever thought I'd be running for president of the United States of America? I was born a low caste untouchable in India's caste system, a system of aristocracy, oppression, and racism. My name is Dr.SHIVA Ayyadurai. I'm an MIT PhD, a Fulbright scholar, a scientist, engineer, entrepreneur, and inventor. My family and I left India to come to America on my 7th birthday. I grew up in the working class neighborhoods of New Jersey, playing baseball, mowing lawns, painting houses, and coding software. My friends and neighbors are blacks, Italians, Irish, people of all races. As a 14-year-old, I wrote 50,000 lines of software code to create the world's first email system, and was awarded the first U.S. copyright for email, recognizing me as its official inventor at a time when copyright was the only way to protect software inventions. I did that long before I ever came to MIT, revealing that big innovations can occur anytime, any place, by anybody. Growing up, I saw politicians dividing us by race and religion in both America and India, to have us fighting each other while they remained safe in their gated communities and in their playgrounds of Hollywood, Martha's Vineyard, and Silicon Valley. I'm a fighter. I fought racism and exposed their imperialist wars, fought for workers, and put my life on the line against global corruption. I never wanted to run for political office. All that changed when I saw working Americans as never before being duped by the establishment, and the not-so-obvious establishment. Across left and right, we were being sold out and made to forget why we came to America and why America existed. Lawyers, academics, billionaires, celebrities, and politicians, elites, Clintons, Kennedys, Bidens, Obamas, Bushes, black and white have hijacked America. They printed trillions for their friends. They delivered crumbling infrastructure, corruption, and racism. They've transferred trillions to themselves, dividing black and white, fear-mongering, and fake science. Lockdowns and censorship, dirty air, food, and water, pushing drugs upon us, making us sicker. We've been sold out. One set of rules for them and another for us. We deserve a warrior with a history of courage in putting everything on the line for you, who believes in you, not them, who has created a movement bottoms up for truth, freedom, health. I've exposed their lies at the right time, never waiting until it was popular. I've exposed their false gods who exist to lead you back to them. I've exposed their fake science of lockdowns and masking and provided you solutions to fight them and win and protect your immune system, saving millions. I exposed Fauci, galvanized the Fire Fauci campaign when others remained silent. When they stole our election, we sued the government and Twitter in our historic 2020 federal lawsuit, exposing in bare view the government and big tech censorship infrastructure, the unholy alliance between government and social media companies. Where was Elon and his grifters? They stood by the sidelines and did nothing. They did not use their megaphones to help us when it could have made a big difference. Now our movement grows for truth, freedom, health, independent of all of them. Every day, millions are learning the science of systems, the knowledge the elites do not want you to have, so you may learn how to think, stand up, and fight. independent of the establishment of left and right and their fake heroes. Now it's time for you to join the movement to win back America, to win back truth, win back freedom, win back your health. That's why I'm running for President of the United States. This race is about you. This race is about truth, freedom, health versus power, profit, control. We've had enough. They think we'll fall in line and vote again for their lawyers, celebrities, billionaires, and chosen ones from above. We choose our heroes from below, from the rank and file, who do what is right at the right time, not when it's convenient and popular. They can never represent us. What America needs is a movement by the working people, for the working people, who are educated, organized, decentralized, and fight for independence from their systems of control. And that movement exists. It's ready for you. We don't need them. We need us to go bottoms up, neighbor to neighbor. My journey, your journey are all the same. It's our time. It's time we had one of us. It's time to win back truth, freedom, health, to win back America. Be part of this historic movement all the way to our victory on November 5th, 2024. If you're an American citizen, pledge your vote now for Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai, the independent candidate for U.S. President. No matter where you live, you can be a part of this. Volunteer as little as 20 minutes a day. Don't delay. This is Dr. Shiva Ayyadurai, and I approve this message, paid for by Dr. Shiva for President.
All right, everyone. So good morning again, or good evening, wherever you are. Every Thursday, today at 11 a.m., in about 1 hour, and at 8 p.m., you can go to vashiva.com/orientation. Come to the open house. It's an amazing meeting. You get to meet truth, freedom, and health warriors, supporters of our campaign from all over the world. Okay. So you can come at 11 a.m. or 8 p.m., but you have to RSVP at vashiva.com/orientation. The other thing is I want to thank a number of people. Cowboys Mosh says truth, freedom, and health. Gave us $2. Wonderful. We'll use that for good. We'll fund more bumper stickers. But again, as I check out and I leave this morning, go get a bumper sticker. This is really easy, and put it proudly on the back windshield of your car, because 100,000 people will see it per day. Go and become a truth, freedom, and health warrior. You'll never regret it. I used to teach this course on systems for people all over the world. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that science is what the elites use to manipulate us for power, profit, control. But with that knowledge, you can become a local leader. You can become a vibrant person in your society. You can become your own hero and your own guru, because you start understanding how to think beyond left and right. You start realizing how they're the same science that runs politics, runs your body, runs everything in the universe. And with that knowledge, you will never be fooled again. So get involved, but you got to get on the ground. One is learning all these books. The other is I love getting on the ground. So I encourage you to get on the ground. Anyway, be the light, become a truth, freedom, and health warrior. And I wish all of you a good night, good morning, etc. Thank you.